Hi, hello friends. So welcome to this new class, and we are learning about the great Himalayan rivers. And the great river that we learned about yesterday is River Indus. I hope you remember the names of different tributaries of River Indus and through which way they are flowing and so on. So we said that river is originating near the Lake Manasarovar, that is in Tibet. So it will come here. Manasarovar lake is here. Then the river Indus is starting here, flowing this way eastward, then entering into Jammu and Kashmir. Then it flows through this way, then enter into Pakistan, then come down here, enter through Punjab, then going through Pakistan, entering into Arabian Sea. That is the route of river Indus. Today we shall see about another great river, that is the Ganga river system. Shall see about the Ganga river, what is their route, where it is originating and so on. So the headwaters of Ganga, headwaters means the beginning part. So the origin, where it is origin, is called Bhagirathi. So the beginning of Ganga river is called Bhagirathi. You can follow in your textbook, page number 20, Bhagirathi, and is fed by Gangotri glacier. So you have to remember this beginning of Ganga river. It is started by melting of a glacier. Glacier, I hope you know, it is a big area, thick ice sheets. So melting of this glacier, and the glacier's name is Gangotri. So remember, the origin place is Bhagirathi, and it is getting the water from the melting of this glacier, and joined by Alaganda at Devprayag. So there is another river at called Alaganda, and these two rivers, they will be joining together in a place called Devprayag in Uttaranchal. So it will be in Uttaranchal that these two rivers join together and form Ganga. You can see in your picture also, you can see two rivers are coming, one coming from here, another one coming from here, and then they join together and flow down. So that is the two rivers join together at Devaprayag and form this river Ganga. At Haridwar, the Ganga emerges from the mountains onto the plains. So in this Haridwar, it is flowing through the mountains, and then when it is reaching the Haridwar, it is emerging, it is coming out from the mountains and flowing through the plain area. So till that time it is flowing through the mountains. Then when it is reaching the Haridwar, it is entering into plain areas. Then the Ganga is joined by many tributaries from Himalayas. So it has got many tributaries are there, and a few of them being major rivers such as Yamuna, the Gahara, the Gandak, and the Kosi. So it has got four main tributaries are there, and even these tributaries are very big rivers. Some of them are Yamuna. Yamuna is a big river, but it is a tributary. Afterwards, it will come and join to Ganga. It is not reaching up to ocean, but it is reaching up to Ganga. Then Gahara, the Gandak, and the Kosi. So all these are big tributaries coming and joining into Ganga. Then the river Yamuna rises from Yamunotri glacier in Himalayas. So the tributary, one of the tributaries, we said it is Yamuna. So Yamuna is also starting from Himalaya. It is getting the water from the melting of the glacier is called Yamunotri. The beginning we said Ganga is getting the water from melting of glacier called Gangotri, and here Yamuna is getting the water because of the melting of the glacier called Yamunotri. So the names are similar: Ganga, Gangotri, Yamuna, Yamunotri. So easy to remember. And it flows parallel to Gangnam, and as a right bank tributary meets the Ganga Allahabad. So this river Yamuna, it is flowing in same line parallel to Ganga. Then what happens? And then as a right bank tributary meets Ganga at Allahabad. So it is at the place called Allahabad that this river Yamuna is coming and joining to Ganga. Till that time they flow in same line. But when it reaches Allahabad, they get merged, they get together. Then the Gahara, so another tributary of Ganga, Gahara, the Gandhar and Kosi. These three tributaries, they are rising in Nepal, Himalaya. They are rising in the Himalaya that is in Nepal. They are the rivers which flood parts of the northern plains every year. So these three rivers, they are originating from Nepal, Himalaya, and they, during the rainy season, they carry plenty of water, and the northern plains are flooded. Every year the northern plains get flooded because of these three rivers. Which are they? Gadhara, Gadag and Kosi. And remember the place that they are originating from Nepal, Himalaya. And during the rainy season they make the northern plain flooded, and so causing lot of damages to life and to property. Because of this flood, lot of property is lost, lot of life is lost, and so on. But at the same time, enriching the soil for the extensive agricultural lands. So on the one hand, because of these three rivers, there is a lot of loss is there, property is lost, life is lost, and so on. At the same time, they bring down a lot of soil. They bring down a lot of soil from the mountains and making the northern plain very rich for cultivation. So advantage is there, disadvantage also is there. So then we come to so we studied about the four tributaries of Ganga. All of them are quite big. One is the river Yamuna. It is flowing in parallel with Gangnam, and when it reaches Allahabad, it will join to the river Ganga. Other three, the Gahara, the Gadhara and Kosi. These three rivers originate from Nepal, Himalaya. It will be originating from Nepal, Himalaya. Then it will be flowing down to the northern plains, flooding the plain during the rainy season, and also making the soil very rich. Then the main tributaries which come from peninsular uplands are the Chambal, the Betwa and the Sun. So three other tributaries that is coming from the peninsular uplands. So these three or these four rivers are coming from Himalaya. Then from peninsular uplands, it will be here. From here also some are flowing down and join to this river Ganga. So which are the rivers flowing from the peninsular upland? They are Chambal, the Betwa and the Sun. These three rivers flowing from the peninsular uplands. Then they rise from semi-arid areas, have shorter courses and do not carry much water in them. So these rivers that are originating from peninsular region, they are starting from arid regions, dry regions, so they do not have much water. But other rivers are starting from Himalaya. There is a melting of glacier, and therefore they have plenty of water. But these rivers, they are originating in a dry place. They are mostly depending on the rainwater. Therefore, they are not carrying much water. They will be carrying very little water, and they don't have very long distance. So from here they start. After flowing some time, they join to river Ganga. So they do not have a very long course for flowing. But the rivers coming down from Himalaya, they have longer course. So here they run for flow for short time, short distance, and then they go and get into mix with river, big river Ganga. Then England enlarged with waters from its right and left bank tributaries. The Ganga flows eastwards till Farakka in West Bengal. So this river Ganga, they are enriched with rivers from both sides. They are river coming from Himalaya and river coming from the peninsular uplands. So enriched with rivers from both sides, it flows towards eastern side and it will enter into West Bengal. So the river Ganga will enter into West Bengal, the place called Farakka. And this is the northernmost point of the Ganga Delta. So this place called Farakka in the West Bengal, that is the most fertile area, fertile delta we can say, Ganga Delta. It is a deposit of this soil, fertile soil by the river, and that becomes an agricultural area good for cultivation. So that is the northernmost point of the Ganga Delta. And the river bifurcates from here. So when it reaches this Farakka, the river is bifurcating. Bifurcate means divide. So long it was flowing, many tributaries come and join to this main river, and it was flowing in direction towards the West Bengal. And when it reaches the place called Farakka, it is dividing. It is becoming into two. The Ganga river will turn out to be divided into two. And the Bhagirathi Googly, that is a distributary, flows southwards through the deltaic plains of the West Bengal. And so the one branch, so we said it is divided into two, and one will be called Ganga, another one will be given another name, that is the Bhagirathi Hooghly river. So that is getting divided from the main river Ganga. So what happens to this Bhagirathi Hooghly? That is flowing southwards through the deltaic plains to the Bay of Bengal. So it will start flowing to the south. It will come down and it will enter into the Bay of Bengal. So it will flow down and enter through the West Bengal and enter into the Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal is here. It will come down from West Bengal. It will enter here. Then the mainstream is the main river Ganga. Another one is Bhagirathi Hooghly. Another one is Ganga. Ganga is the mainstream. So the mainstream flows southwards into Bangladesh. So it will flow towards the south and enter into Bangladesh. Then and is joined by the Brahmaputra. So the main stream of the Ganga, it will flow into Bangladesh, and from Bangladesh another big river Brahmaputra also will be coming from Assam, entering into Bangladesh. So these two rivers will join together in Bangladesh. These two mighty rivers, Ganga and Brahmaputra. So both are big rivers, and when they join together, we can imagine the amount of water will be there. So these two will be joined together. And then it is known as Meghna. So when these two rivers are joined together, it is known as Meghna. So in India it will be known as Ganga, another one will be known as Brahmaputra. But when it reaches Bangladesh, these two rivers join together and become one river, and they are known as Meghna. This mighty river with the waters from Ganga and Brahmaputra flows into the Bay of Bengal. So this river is a mighty river because two big rivers are joined together, and so the river will be very mighty and it will finally go into Bay of Bengal. Then the delta formed by these rivers is known as Sunderland Delta. So this Brahmaputra and Ganga, they form the delta, and this delta is known as Sunderland Delta. So you know the meaning of Sundar, beautiful, isn't it? So Sunderland Delta, and there is something special about called the Sunderland Delta. Let us see what it is, how it got this name, and so on. So the Sunderland Delta derived its name from Sundari tree which grows well in marshland. So that area, lot of trees are growing, and the name of the tree is Sundari. So the name of the tree is Sundari, and tree is growing very well in that marshy area because of the river. Lot of water is there and cannot do much cultivation, so the trees are growing very well, and the name of the tree is Sundari. Therefore, the delta in that region is known as Sunderland Delta. Then it is the world's largest and the fastest growing delta. So another important fact about this Sunderland Delta is it is the largest delta in the world, and it is also the fastest growing delta in the world. So these rivers are bringing lot of silts, sand, soil, everything, and they are going on depositing it at the edge of the land. So it is spreading far and far, and therefore it is the delta that is enlarging or growing very fast. So you can remember the importance or the speciality about this Sunderland Delta. It is the largest and the fastest growing delta in the world, and it is also a home for Royal Bengal tiger. So in this Sunderland Delta, where the Sundari trees are growing, that is also a homeland or a shelter land of the famous tiger, Royal Bengal tiger. So this forest is inhabited by the Royal Bengal tiger. So that is about the Sunderland Delta. Now let us come back to this river again, Ganga river. What is the length of this river? So the length of the river Ganga is 2500 kilometers. So it is 2500 kilometers long. That is the length. So it is flowing starting from Himalaya and flowing up to Bay of Bengal. It is traveling, or it is flowing through 2500 kilometer long distance. And you can look at in your previous page, the map is there, India's map. You will see the river Ganga starting from here. It is flowing down, and other rivers like Sarda, Garghara, Gandhara, Kosi, they are all coming and joining to the main stream. And from here also many rivers are going. Bedwa, other rivers are coming and joining to this. So Bedwa, Sun river is there, they are all coming and joining. Then finally it is entering into West Bengal, then entering into Bangladesh, then it is going down to the Bay of Bengal. Now you look at these different rivers. The main river is there, Then so many tributaries are coming and joining here. So how does it look like? You remember in the last class we learned about 4 types of drainage patterns. So this Ganga and its tributaries, how do they look like? They belong to which pattern? You can say they look like a tree pattern, isn't it? Right? Dendritic. So they look like dendritic pattern because they look like a tree with a lot of branches. So that is to confirm about the pattern that we learned in the previous class. And the Ganga and its tributaries, they are forming a dendritic pattern. Then the plains from Ambala to Sunderland stretch over nearly 1,800 kilometers. So from the place Ambala till the last part, the Sunderland, the area is 1,800 kilometers long. So 2,500 is starting from Himalaya to the Sunderland Delta. So we are considering from Ambala, it is 1,800 kilometers. So the last part of the river Ganga flowing for 1,800 kilometers, but the fall in its slope is hardly 300 meters. So this area is not very slopy. It is very slow, gradual slope, not very sharp slope. So it is moving, sloping very slowly. So from here, the last 800 kilometers, the slope is only, the total is only just 300 meters. So from the last part of the Sunderland Delta to Ambala, if you look at, the height is only, the height difference is only 300 kilometers. Sorry, 300 meters. And in other words, there is a fall of just 1 meter for every 6 kilometers. So we can say there is a fall of just 1 meter after 6 kilometers. So after crossing for 6 kilometers, we can say 1 meter is down. So the slope is not very sharp but gentle slope. Because of that, the slope is less, and after 6 kilometers we can say 1 meter down. Then another 6 kilometers flow 1 meter down. So it is after every 6 kilometers we can say 1 meter the flow has become down, or the area is down by 1 meter. Then therefore the river developed large meanders. So because there is not very sharp or steep slope, what happens? The river is not flowing with full speed. The river is a bit slow and it creates a lot of meadows. What is this meadows? We learned in the other day also what is meadows. Sharp turn. So because the land is not very steep, it is turning here and there, therefore it has got very sharp turn. Lot of places this river Ganga is creating a very sharp turn. So that is the speciality of this river Ganga. So that is the information, that is knowledge that we have about river Ganga. So remember, it has got tributaries coming from the north Himalaya and also from the peninsular region. It has got rivers joining to it, and finally it will enter into the West Bengal, and then it gets divided into two. One main Ganga will flow into Bangladesh. There it will join to Brahmaputra and become the river called Meghna, and then finally it will go to the Bay of Bengal. And so we also said about the delta that this river is creating. It is the fastest growing delta in the world, and also it is the largest delta in the world. And this area is very famous for what type of tree? Sundari trees. So because of the presence of the trees, Sundari trees there, the delta is known as Sunderland Delta. And this forest or Sunderland forest also is a habitat for Royal Indian tigers. And he said the land is not very slow, especially towards the end 1800 kilometers. The slope is low. We can say after every 6 kilometers the land is 1 meter down. So it is not very steep slope, very gradual slope. Because of that, the river takes a lot of U-turns. The sharp turns are there. The river is flowing with a lot of sharp turns. So we shall wind up for today, and tomorrow we shall study about another important river called Brahmaputra, which we are more familiar about, and there we will see the specialities of river Brahmaputra. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.